Hi everyone,
Hi,
welcome back to the channel.
welcome. ¿Cómo está ustedes?
Okay. As some of you may know, we have been on the road for a year now. We left the condo on October 1st, 2019,
yes.
and we crossed North America twice.
Because of something that we called...
COVID-19.
Yes. So we were supposed to leave on the road, especially to shoot for a documentary, meeting people living and working on the road. But COVID forced us to come back. You'll see Marie crying in a few seconds. And we wanted to show you that part of our travels that is not always super funny. And then we're going to bring you in Western Canada.
Yes.
Where we had a lot of fun.
And we saw bears.
And we we hiked and we took pictures of whales and then we came back.
You're hyperactive today.
Yeah. One too many coffee.
Enjoy the trip, guys.
Enjoy our trip.
Hi, we're Dom and Marie.
Since 2016, we traveled the world by van looking for the perfect road trip, until we decided to buy and convert our own little home on wheels that we named Vanessa.
Every Sunday, we share parts of our van life experience with as much details as possible.
Tips, tricks, and stories that we hope will inspire you to start your own travel project.
But for now, buckle up, subscribe, and enjoy the ride for this new episode of Van Life Sagas.
So the initial plan we had was to loop down the United States through Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and then come back through California, Oregon, British Columbia, go all the way up to Yukon, Alaska, and then cruise through Canada.
To come back home in Eastern Canada.
Yes. The whole point was to meet people for a documentary about people living and working on the road, but unfortunately we had to cut the itinerary in two and just reshuffle everything to make sure it works with the COVID regulations.
Yeah. March 1st, I believe, we cruised down all the way to Colorado, spent a couple of weeks there with our friends.
In Denver. And the documentary and the project and the travels were going very well.
Everything was going very well. Dom and I were really enjoying our time.
Yeah.
It was like our first time really enjoying spending time in the van. Take tout mon bois. Attention. For dropping?
This wood feels pretty dry anyways. The dog, hey. Is that a good job? This is my woodcutter.
So in March, when COVID happened, Dom and I were in the van. We were pretty secluded out in the woods. We were, living alone-ish. We would only see people to go to the groceries and then to put gas. So we were like, might as well stay here. It's fine. But as the days were going by, things were starting to be very, very tricky.
Comme si moi en ce moment qui comprend pas l'ampleur de la situation puis comme qui est dommé de pas retourner ou comme je comprends pas là, pour vrai j'ai vraiment de la misère à comprendre. Comme je suis si vraiment en danger que ça ici en ce moment dans ma van, j'ai de la misère pour vrai. Comme on dirait que je suis pas capable de répondre à mes questions là.
We will be denying entry to Canada to people who are not Canadian citizens or permanent
Prime Minister
residents.
Justin Trudeau also said airlines will ban anyone with coronavirus symptoms from getting off the plane.
Americans to keep a safe distance from one another to try to flatten that curve. The U.S. and Canada closing the border to all non-essential travel.
He also answered questions about those new restrictions that Evan told us about at the U.S.-Canada border.
So it was getting cold.
Yeah.
The nights were getting down to sub-freezing temperatures.
Oh, yeah.
And at one point, we just felt like everything was going south on us.
Yeah,
it was just bad. Everything was bad.
From the standpoint, we don't want people coming into contact because that's the way we're going to win this war. That is so important. And
we had been planning this trip for such a long time. Like, it was hard for Dom to leave work, for a long period of time. Me, I was like at this stage at my PhD where I could leave, so everything was planned.
I was feeling like I was in the apocalyptical kind of movie. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And the more north we were going, the worse it was getting.
Yeah.
And we were going towards New York. So I was like, okay, shit is about to hit the fan. Someone is going to stop us. And at the border, the guy told us, you have to stay 14 days inside a house.
Inside your property. You can't see anyone. You can't even go outside
Yeah, so
on the lawn.
go get some food. And if we catch you outside your house, it's $1 million Canadian fee.
It's a big fine.
So that's a lot of money. We didn't have that money. So we stayed stayed home for like 14 days without doing anything.
And it wasn't our home, it was a friend's house. She lent us her house because she went to live with her boyfriend for 2 weeks just so we could quarantine.
Yeah, and that's
So
it.
thanks to our friends and family, we were able to get food and supplies, and we stayed there for 2 weeks. I mean, obviously not that big of a deal because everyone did it.
It was harsh, going from being in the outdoors 24/7 to inside.
Checking the engine oil.
5 minutes before we leave?
Oh, it's better than the day after?
It's okay.
Did you lick it?
This is the key to my heart.
So that's my key?
Yes.
Because I have your heart?
Yes. Am I driving? I'm driving, right?
You're driving because I work.
Donnez-nous des belles nouvelles comme vous faites d'habitude.
Take care. Wash your hand.
Wash your hair. Don't be
Take care,
scared.
wash your hair.
Take care, wash your hand. Ça, c'est les...
Take care, wash your hair.
Don't be square.
Say bye to my parents.
Attends un peu, mon job. Ouais, take care. Don't be square.
Hey, vous êtes bien trop smart. Vous êtes bien trop smart, les amis. Ouais.
Prends le temps de m'appeler quand t'es pas à toilette.
Try to call me when you're not taking a shit.
So as soon as we could go west, that's what we did. We packed the van at my parents' house.
Matter of days, we packed the van.
Yeah, because everything was at my parents' house, so we packed the van. I cried again.
She always cries,
I always cry.
You're
And
so
then-
terrible.
Hey, yeah. And then we left.
Bye, guys.
I love you.
Love you.
Are you have the pen? Why do you have the pen? Put your glasses on, that's my trick. What are we eating, baby?
Pasta.
Describe the meal.
Pesto and feta pasta. And cashew. Grilled cashew.
Yum, 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 yum.
I never know how to crush cashew.
I can roll on it with the car if you want.
Yes, that's why you're not doing it, because I know that would be your idea.
Can we talk about the prairies? Because we were both super aware that the prairies were a big piece of flat land.
Yeah.
And we thought it was going to be boring, but it was not.
The prairies are underestimated.
There
It
is,
is
yeah.
so freaking pretty. I mean, yes, it is flat, but it is so pretty.
Yeah.
I love the prairies.
At one point, Marie was just like, "Can you drive faster? We're gonna try to catch this train for me to take some images.
We did it.
And maybe we can, stop by the train so you can take pictures with the train." So the Canadian Pacific has a lot of trains in the prairies, and it was pretty nice. After, 2 or 3 days of flat driving?
You get to Calgary, and when you get to Calgary, you start seeing the mountains in the back, and the feeling is just insane. If you've never seen the Rockies, it just like, boom. It's
It
like,
goes through your chest.
it goes through your chest. It's just insane. You were born there, so you didn't have that feeling, but me, it was just like...
So we ended up in Canmore this day.
And we spent like 3 weeks just around like Canmore, Banff, Lake Louise, because it's just like so pretty.
You see why I don't like brooming all the time?
Oh shit.
It's called sand.
That's me scaring the bear away.
So you're gonna clap for 5 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, I see a bear.
Fuck off! Arrête! Not funny. Pour vrai, not funny, okay?
And then we left the Rockies going west to a province that we named British Columbia. And when we got there, I heard it was kind of another country. The weather was different, it was warmer.
It's the coast. I feel like it's the coast.
Yeah, it's a coast. And when we got to BC, something very weird happened.
What?
I just stopped
Oh, yeah.
filming everything.
I think you needed a break.
I just needed a break. At some point, my body was like tired of always, going back and forth between the crisis, work, the pictures we had to take, the hikes. I was physically getting tired as well, so
Yeah.
we just stopped filming, and
You surfed a lot.
I went surfing. That's
You
the
surfed
problem.
a lot in that week.
Maybe I could do a slideshow with pictures and sexy sounds. That's gonna compensate for not having videos, maybe. What do you think?
Sure, dude.
Baby, this is so beautiful in Tofino right now. I think you're dropping your car keys on the ground. Just make sure they're not your car keys. Well, oh dude, you're right. These are your car keys. That would have been nice. You got lost your car keys in the sand. I'm gonna wait for you here while you're back at your car looking at the 3 feet wave, baby. Where's my sweater? Oh, my girlfriend's got my sweater again. But we're gonna watch the sunset, drinking beers, and take pictures for Instagram. Oh, that one is good. Maybe I'm gonna go back in the water. But oh, wait, that's not me. That's just the surfer girl coming out of the water.
Be still, my darling. All is well, my darling.
After Tofino is one of my favorites of our trip.
Yeah.
We went to Victoria and we were able to see killer whales in their natural habitat. That is seriously, I didn't cry.
What?
No,
You're on
no.
the verge of crying.
No, I didn't cry.
Well.
But guys, like seeing killer whales, orcas in their, in the ocean is just surreal. They are so massive and their fins and they're curious. They come to see you. They're just so freaking pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
Thanks for bringing us on board, Prince of Wales, the
Yeah.
company.
They're
they were
awesome.
just super nice, and it's not the typical whale watching tour where you just drive around and watch for stuff. They
No.
actually explain you what kind of animals you're watching, what are their names, who are their relatives,
Yeah.
what they eat, and where they're going. So
Yeah.
you're like, whoa, you're kind of seeing a family story right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
So the Victoria and Vancouver area was just out of this world. So we are leaving Vancouver now. We are leaving the West Coast, going back in the Rocky Mountains. I think I'm moving to Vancouver soon.
Yep.
Whether you're coming or not,
I'm coming.
it's just a beautiful city. I just wish we stayed here for like another 2 weeks. Plus there's
We're going to hike
what?
Garibaldi Lake Trail.
Oh.
19-kilometer, 6 to 8 hour hike, 900-meter elevation.
Sounds like we're gonna puke somewhere along the way.
Sounds like we're gonna puke somewhere along the way.
We stayed a couple of days near Whistler. We did a very, very cool hike, Garibaldi, which is pretty long, with friends that we met
Yeah.
at the beginning of the trip. A French
French
couple
people, yeah.
from France, obviously. We would see them here and there, here and then, and we did a very nice hike with them.
I say we paddle to the glacier over there, and we camp. Hey, les fucking mouches, pour vrai.
And after the hike, we just decided to cook in a parking lot. And a lot of you...
Did we?
Yeah, a lot of you are probably thinking, eating, pastas in a Walmart parking lot has to be not that fun. But honestly,
I kind of like it.
When you live in your van, they're around the best nights you can have. When you meet someone else that you've been around for a couple of weeks, and then you're like, yeah, let's just have fun in the van and eat. And
that was really, really fun.
Do you want me to do the helicopter?
Vous avez fait ça dans la douche?
Toujours.
Avez-vous fait ça dans la douche?
Oui, non.
Somebody would never know.
Rodriguez.
Ta-da! Look at this.
Ben, j'ai mon voyage.
Ouais, on met du beurre dans le vin.
Du beurre?
Pas d'autre qui est français.
So her friend from Quebec came to see, well, they're my friends as well. They came to visit us.
Yeah, they rented a big RV.
They came up, they just showed up with their big RV.
Which was nice because we were able to take our shower.
Yeah, we could take a shower in their RV. And at one point, we just decided to park in the middle of nowhere. And that was one of the best days there. I was like, wow.
One of the best free camp spots we found in our trip.
Separated by our flags. Saw your eyes, you saw my tags.
So yeah, and then we went down the Glacier Highway.
Icefield Parkway, it's called.
Icefield Parkway. And the Icefield Parkway is just, it's a parkway surrounded by ice fields. It's just amazing. Oh, actually, we went walking on a glacier.
Oh, we did walk.
And she drank water from the glacier.
I did.
And she found the North Pole.
I did. I found Santa Claus.
Santa Claus water.
Santa Claus water.
You like that, right?
Drinking water from the glacier.
Oh, yeah?
We had to come back home. Unfortunately, we had to make our way home for October 1st, so we left on the 26th or the 27th?
On the 27th, I think
September.
We left all the friends behind. That was kind of sad as well because along the way, the longer you travel, the more people you meet and you get along with.
And people are so nice.
And at the end, I had to say goodbye to all these people at the same time.
And that was heartbreaking because they were staying a bit longer in the Rockies, so knowing you have to come back when all your friends are going to be hiking for the next couple of days before they come back home.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. But hey.
Non, mais
qu'est-ce que t'as fait avec mon pain?
C'est Marie.
Calisse.
Il est pas beau?
Oui, il est beau.
Yo, bébé.
Oh, shit.
Comment ça va, bébé? Hein?
Comment ça va, Sylvain?
Sylvain? Sylvain?
Ah, ben c'est parfait.
Sylvain.
C'est bon, ça? Juste manger des fraises? C'est un peu dégueulasse. Tu trouves pas?
Des fraises, du lait de haute.
Ah, il est descendu en dessous, ok, parfait. J'ai comme à manger des fraises. Ouais, c'est vrai.
And you raise your daughters 3. With this ring, remember me.
So that's pretty much it. We came back, you saw your parents, everything was fine. We enjoyed our trip. And the documentary we were talking about at the beginning of the clip is still on workers and people who are working differently. But I would like to know how COVID affected your work life.
Yeah.
Did it force you out of the workforce? Did it force you out of the workspace? Did you have to improvise some kind of office? Did you leave on the road, on a boat? Did you change job? Did you quit your job? Are you going back to work? These are all questions I would like to have answers to.
So share your COVID work-related stories with us. That's something that's really important to us, and especially for the documentary.
Yeah.
If you didn't have have the chance to go to the West, yes, to travel to Canada.
Yeah.
It's just so pretty. You guys need to add it to your bucket list. It's
amazing.
Amazingly beautiful.
It's an epic country, and I'm pretty sure there are a million ways for you to travel in your own country by van in the next few months.
Obviously, wait for the appropriate time to travel, but when it is free and when everyone's safe and all this is behind us, you need to visit Canada because it's just very, very pretty. Yup.
So see you next week, baby!
See you next week! Bye!
Bye!
We can't forget the French lesson.
Oh, the French lesson.
French lesson number 6. J'ai brûlé tes rôtis. I burnt your toasts. J is for the word je, which means I, but sometimes we just make some letters disappear. We find it's funny. Et brûlé is like I have burnt. It's the past tense of burn. Te is for your, and rôti is for toast. But something is very weird in French. Sometimes we use the English word as well. We could say, j'ai brûlé tes toasts, j'ai brûlé tes rôtis, because rôti is toast and toast is toast. Oh my god, j'ai brûlé tes rôtis.